Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today, disclaimer, and I'm going to put this in the headline and the description, this is not a pro-flat earth conspiracy theory video. Do not put community notes on this video. I am talking about the flat earth theory mostly to mock flat earthers and question how anybody can be so stupid as to believe this shit. So, YouTube, don't be stupid. Thank you very much. Now, what is the flat earth conspiracy bullshit theory? Well, a bunch of idiots who get their education from Sunday school, reading pamphlets paraphrasing the Bible, think that the earth is flat because of a verse that says something to the effect of the four corners of the earth, which is very obviously an alliteration referencing, or an allegory, referencing the, north, south, east, and west, the four cardinal directions of the earth, not literal corners of a goddamn box. But because these fucking dipshits got their entire education from Sunday school coloring books, they can't think for themselves because they're stupid. And so they turn to other idiots on YouTube who got their education from fuckfaces like Alex Jones and dipshits like fuck off glad he's dead Rush Limbaugh and dipshits like that. And so they believe this shit. But the supposed theory, the bullshit, I want to make that very clear, theory alleges that NASA and all the space agencies of the world somehow are under the, I don't know, fucking Illuminati or the Antichrist or something, and there's some bullshit cover-up to convince people the Earth is round, because that disproves the Bible or something like that. First of all, it doesn't, because the Bible is not a goddamn science book, and if you're studying science from the Bible, you're a fucking idiot, you have brain damage, check yourself into a mental asylum, and get shock fucking therapy, because you are broken as a person. The Bible is not a goddamn science book. Jesus fucking Christ. But we have to talk about it. Not so much the theory itself, because it's bullshit and it's easy to fucking disprove, because we have fucking eyeballs built into our brains that allow us to see the earth is not a goddamn square. Never mind all the fucking scientific evidence. But we have to talk about the dipshit flat earthers. And how in the fuck does somebody get to a point where they are so brain damaged that not only do they entertain this as a possibility, but they vehemently believe it, so much so that they will attack anyone that doesn't go along with it. And I'm going to be blocking a lot of assholes in the comments, because if they end up seeing this video, this middle finger is for you. Well, take your own middle finger and shove it up your butt, because I'm not touching you. I don't even want to acknowledge you exist, because you're a fucking idiot. Unfortunately, I can tell you from first-hand experience what a flat earther is like, because I have one in my family. I'm not going to say who they are or how I'm related to them, because some of my family members do watch this video, and I'm not going to point anybody out, and I'm not going to tell you how I know this, because I've had conversations with this flat earther idiot. And let's just say they believe every fucking bullshit conspiracy. And again, I'm going to go with they probably have brain damage, this particular person, as would be the case with anyone that believes this bullshit. But part of the problem is you have a subset of Christianity. It is not all Christians, but it is almost exclusively Christians that believe this bullshit, or Abrahamic religions who take a 100% literal interpretation of the Bible, which the Bible itself doesn't even do, so you're an idiot if you read the Bible literally in the first place, and an extra idiot if you take everything in the Bible literally. Because it's not supposed to be taken literally, and it actually tells us this in the goddamn Bible itself. But I'm not going to get into arguments with people over about what the Bible says. I don't give a fuck. I don't read the goddamn thing. I did. I have. I know what it says. I don't need to read it anymore. Let's move on beyond that. But these people start relatively benign, you would say, with things like, oh, we don't believe in evolution. We believe in creationism, and they don't believe in the Big Bang Theory. We believe in, God spoke it into existence. Well, God said, let there be everything, and then boom, the Big Bang happened. So the Bible doesn't even disprove the Big Bang. So there you go. But let's push that aside for a second. The Bible's not a history book either. There is no timeline in the Bible that gives a birth date for the universe that says the entire universe was created on this date, and then we can put it on the calendar from there. Now, there are people who try to guesstimate how old they think the earth is based on when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden and go from there. There's two fallacies with that. One, that again is an allegory. That story was not intended to be taken literally. And two, and nowhere in the Bible does it tell us on what day they were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. They could have been in the Garden of Eden for millions of years or billions of years. We don't fucking know. And, again, it's going off of a very shady genealogy that was passed down word of mouth for thousands of years before it was written down. It is unfucking reliable. But this is the basis of where they come from. They take too literal of an interpretation of the Bible. So they start with, they don't believe in evolution, which has been scientifically proven beyond a goddamn shadow of the doubt. It is fact. It is not fiction. The Bible is fiction. But let's get that out of the way. And then they go on, okay, well, if this is not true, then we have to also say then we don't believe in the Big Bang Theory. But then they read that verse that says the four corners of the earth. And a few other passages that also use this same allegorical language that was supposed to be figurative, taken figuratively, but instead of taking it figuratively like it was actually supposed to be, they somehow bend it to be taken literally, and therefore they think, oh, well then the earth has to be flat. They also think it has to be the center of the universe because that fits their narrative, although there's nothing in the Bible that suggests the earth is the center of the universe. The closest you can get is it says the earth is God's footstool or something to that effect, but the footstool could be in the corner of the fucking, living room. It doesn't have to be in the goddamn center because nobody puts the footstool in the center of the living room. So even if the earth is the God's footstool, using that same figurative language would probably tell us that it absolutely isn't the center of the universe. So you would argue the Bible doesn't support this bullshit theory. But then they start to go into things like, faith science, which is not science. So then they're like, I'm not going to take vaccines. We don't believe in vaccines. And then they start denying climate change. And it escalates to where they don't believe in germs, and they don't believe in hate crimes, and then they don't believe in paying taxes, and they don't believe in democracy or human rights, and then it escalates and it escalates until they turn into Joe Rogan. But we have to ask ourselves, how do they get there? Well, part of it is their goddamn idiot preachers telling them that this is what they're supposed to believe. Well, there's nothing we can do about that because, preachers are preachers and they can say whatever the fuck they want. They have freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and they're going to do what they want. You shouldn't just believe everything the preacher says. Learn to think for yourself. But they also either don't finish public school education or don't get a public school education. A lot of them are homeschooled, which is problematic in so many fucking ways. We're not even going to get into that right now. But putting that aside, the other issue is they deny the education that they get even when they are properly educated somehow, which is also problematic. So how do you talk to a flat earther? You don't. As soon as you discover somebody's a flat earther, you literally cut that person out of your life. You write them off as a dead brain idiot or brain dead idiot, and you never speak to them again because they have fucking brain damage. So that's how you handle flat earthers. But how do you stop future children from becoming flat earthers? Well, the first thing you do is you fund public schools and you make it harder to homeschool your kids. First of all, you should have a state-mandated curriculum that you are required by law to purchase from the state that is authorized by the Board of Education, that is approved by, actual fucking academics that says, yes, this is real science. This you can teach your kids so that they have to get a real education. Even just because you're homeschooling your kids doesn't mean you get to lie to them and feed them bullshit. Second, it should be mandated at the federal level and all 50 states that you have to have a teaching degree, bare fucking minimum, to homeschool your goddamn kids. Because a fucking high school dropout has no business teaching anything to their fucking children outside of maybe how to cook and how to drive a car. Goddamn flat earthers are fucking idiots, and it pisses me off that they exist. Now, if you set all that aside and you just go into, some people are pagans, some people have beliefs in fairy tales, some people like science fiction and fantasy, some people play Dungeons and Dragons, some people like World of Warcraft and Star Wars and things like this. You can entertain the notion that flat earth is a fantasy or a fairy tale, and you can imagine an alternate, not real universe where the earth is possibly flat. And then it makes for an interesting thought exercise. But then you snap out of it and you're like, okay, this is no different than like what if unicorns were real, or what if rainbows actually did have pots of gold at the end of them. Well, they don't, but it's kind of sometimes fun to think about. That's where it stops, or should stop. Now, in the US, you're going to have an uphill battle outlawing homeschool entirely. You're going to have an uphill battle mandating good education curriculums and making sure the parents have the proper qualifications to homeschool their kids. So that's a fucking problem we have to overcome. How do we do it? Well, we missed our opportunity to vote correctly 2 weeks ago. So, oops. So we gotta wait 4 years to try again. And even then, all we're gonna be doing is, at best, undo all of the shit these motherfuckers are gonna be doing because the fucking idiot flat earthers are running the fucking country. So, what can you do? I don't know. I'm gonna be blunt honest with you. I don't fucking know. The first thing you do is, if you know someone who is a flat earther, you cut them out of your life. I don't care if it's your grandma. You cut her out of your life. I don't give a fuck if she makes the best oatmeal raisin cookies. You cut her out of your life. You call her an idiot to her face, and you never talk to her again. These people are dangerous. Do not be friendly, civil, or polite to fucking flat earthers.